My father passed away about 5 years ago. Unexpectedly, from a heart attack. To say it was hard on my mother and me is an understatement. Our old house in Knoxville? It ceased to feel like a home. Its walls echoed with a hollow, suffocating silence. About a year later, Mom and I plotted an escape, dragging ourselves and our elderly dog, Ace, further south. We aimed for a small, forsaken town, a half hour from Atlanta. But just days before the move, something invaded my sleep. A dream so vivid, so unnervingly real, I still question if it was sleep paralysis gripping my soul. There I was, trapped in a flawless replica of my bedroom. The streetlights across the road bled their sickly glow through my window, casting a reflection on the wall, a light I knew too well. As I lay there staring into its glare, a wisp of smoke slithered from the shadows, an orb of haze that sent icy goosebumps rippling across my flesh. I couldn't move, panic chaining me to the bed. The orb hovered, suspended in the light's reflection, watching me with an unseen gaze. Then, without warning, it spoke, my dead father's voice rasping through the stillness. "I'm sending someone to watch you." Terror clawed at my chest. Despite it being his voice, the thing felt wrong, alien, malevolent. I choked out a trembling whisper. "What?" Silence stretched, thick and suffocating, before it answered again, its tone sharp and cryptic. "Damn black." I jolted awake, gasping, the nightmare's chill seeping into my bones. What did it mean? A farewell? A warning? I couldn't tell, but dread gnawed at me. Weeks later, we fled Knoxville for Georgia. Mom found us a quaint house, a lonely speck down a gravel road swallowed by woods. Our new neighbor's cat, a wiry, ancient black thing, latched onto me instantly. I fed her, cared for her, and she'd sprint to me whenever I stepped outside. A small comfort amid the upheaval. But less than a month in, I woke to a faint, hacking cough echoing from downstairs. Ace, our dog, has a collapsed trachea. I'm used to tending him at night. He stumbled down, expecting to find him, but he was gone. Not in his bed, not in the kitchen, nowhere. The cough sounded again, fainter from outside. The side patio door gaped open, a sliver of darkness I'd forgotten to seal. "Christ," I muttered, "he got out." Flashlight in hand, I plunge into the night, calling, "Ace! Ace!" Another cough rasped from the gravel road ahead, a path that stretched into a void of skeletal trees. Fear prickled my spine, but I pressed on. Then the sound shifted. Less a cough, more a guttural growl. I swung the light toward it. A red fox stood there, its eyes blazing in the beam, unblinking. I froze, rationalizing it was sick, mistaken for Ace. But as I stared, it tilted its head, and beside me appeared that black cat, Halloween. She wasn't the sweet creature I knew. Her back arched, fur bristling, she unleashed a low, feral growl that rattled my nerves. I knelt, whispering, trying to pull her away from the fox, ascended into chaos, pure, unadulterated terror. The fox wasn't a fox anymore. In its place stood a rotting coyote corpse, shambling toward me, its jaw dangling, one eye a bloody ruin. I blinked, praying it was a trick of the dark. But it lurched closer. Halloween stood her ground, snarling at the abomination. It paused, glaring between us, then growled in a voice like death itself. "Damn black!" In a flash, it bolted into the woods, vanishing as if it had never been. Halloween purred against my leg, unfazed, while I scooped her up and ran home, heart pounding. Ace slept soundly in Mom's room all along. That cat saved me from something. A skinwalker, maybe, lured by Ace's cough. I feed her every night now, grateful for my tiny guardian. I was wandering through America, a restless soul, when I landed in a dusty Nevada bar. Chatting with a stranger over beers, I mentioned I'd linger in town a few days. Then a biker stormed in, leather-clad, bearded, a walking stereotype. I smirked. Big mistake. The guy beside me hissed, "Don't mess with the bikers, man," his voice a low, urgent warning that killed my laugh cold. Next night I returned, drinking with two out-of-towners, George and Steve. We laughed, oblivious until a pack of those bikers slunk in. Rough, ragged eyes like predators. I averted my gaze, remembering the warning. George and Steve didn't. They mocked them under their breath, too loud. One biker loomed beside George, reeking of sweat and menace. George, drunk and bold, sneered, "You stink worse than a fat guy's ass crack." The biker smirked, chugged his beer, then smashed the bottle across George's skull. Chaos erupted. They pummeled us, George worst of all, dragging us outside to a jeep flanked by their bikes. My head spun as they shoved us in, driving into the desert's black heart. Hours later, they dumped Steve and me into the sand, George still limp in the back. The leader growled through the window, "Pick friends with better manners," and they roared off, dust choking the night. We staggered back to civilization, battered and broken, and called the cops. Nothing came of it. George, swallowed by the desert, lost forever. Don't mess with the bikers, man. This memory from my childhood still claws at me, a nightmare stitched together from fragments and family whispers. I was 3, maybe 4, at an amusement park. Kiddie rides, bright lights, innocent fun. Then I vanished. My parents turned away for a heartbeat, and I was gone, snatched from the crowd. They screamed my name, frantic as the park locked down. Exit sealed, a code blaring over the radios, a child missing. The senior worker barked at them, "Forget her clothes, look for her eyes." 5 minutes later, they found me in a grimy bathroom, 2 women hovering over me. One shaved my head with trembling hands. The other stuffed me into boys' clothes, a disguise to smuggle me out, to sell me like meat. The staff's swift action saved me. Those hags were caged. My parents clung to me, sobbing as I stood there, half shorn, a ghost of myself. The depths some sink to. It's a darkness that still haunts me.
Years back in Canberra, I'd been drinking late with mates at a bar near a park, a shortcut home. At 1 a.m., I stumbled through it, expecting silence. Halfway across, a sound pierced the night. A baby's wail, sharp and desperate, drifting from the woods. I froze. Who'd leave a child out here? The crying wouldn't stop, unanswered, abandoned. My drunk mind spun, horror stories flooding in, and paranoia took hold. I bolted, avoiding the trees, shame burning my gut for not checking. Good thing I didn't. Days later, word spread. A man had been lurking in that park, phone loaded with crying baby tracks, lures for the kind-hearted. He'd stabbed and robbed his prey, dragging them deeper into the shadows. That night, my cowardice spared me his blade. Evil wears many masks, and I'm damn glad I ran.